Walter Payton's in his sights. He needs 93 yards to bring it.
History is a shadow. Difficult to ignore. Even harder to escape. You can't run around it. You can't run from it. The best you can do is run with it.
He desperately wants this record. He needs 80 more.
I represent a fraternity of an elite group. When you look at a lot of running backs, a lot of us have a lot of similarities and a lot of instinctive things and a lot of visionary things. But I think when you really get down to the nook and cranny, it's something inside you that really have to propel you to do your job the best that you possibly can.
He's 38 yards away.
There's going to be shots out there that people are going to take on you. But when you get back up and you take the best that they have, and you get back and shake somebody down and make somebody miss and go to the end zone, they'll be like, this guy's going to keep coming all day.
Give me an update. Right around 28 yards away.
I see bodies, flashes of colors, angles. Is he too sharp? Is he too flat? Is he over the top? Or is he underneath me? Can I get around him? Bait him in. I'm playing almost like a magician. I'm going to let him come in as close as he wants. And then I'm going to make one move, and he's not going to even touch me.
Spinning, churning, 10 more.
When I play with so much energy and so much force that I can move 350-pound man and not even think twice about it.
Gain of 5. He's under 20 yards away.
Some people ask the question, why you? Without no Jim Brown, without no Gary Sayers and Dickerson and Walton, all those list of guys, there wouldn't be no history. I have all of them in me. And so without that in front of me, I wouldn't have nothing to chase after. I'd be creating it. And it's fun to be able to chase after something. When I think about it, I mean, that's a lot of yardage. Being in the position to achieve this record, to get it, that would be the ultimate.
That should do it. Move over, Sweetness. Make a place for Emmitt. He is now the NFL's all-time leading rusher.
20 years ago, we went to Chicago to do a feature on Bears running back Walter Payton and his off-season workout routine. We followed Sweetness to a dirt hill that was ridiculously steep, and we watched him run up this hill over and over and over again. It wasn't literally a mountain, but figuratively, we were watching Payton on his quest to reach the top of the NFL mountain. And eventually, he did become the league's all-time leading rusher. Now, when I look back on that day in Chicago, I remember seeing Payton standing by himself on the top of that hill. The view was his alone, as it was for so many years, until now.
Game day, look good, feel good, play good. But I slept pretty good last night. I got up early this morning. I was up probably around 6, a little bit before 6.
It's a cloudy 67-degree day at Texas Stadium. My guess is Emmitt Smith will be more nervous today than he was when he took his first carry in 1990. You're going to see some second and third effort, I think, out of him today. He desperately wants this record now. It's not just any other Sunday.
16,726 is one sweet number. Walter Payton's NFL rushing record was a distance equal to 1/3 of a marathon. A distance traversed not mile by mile, but yard by yard, inch by inch.
Well, who's the fastest? Well, I know I wasn't the fastest. They said, well, who's the biggest? I know I wasn't the biggest. Who's the strongest? I know that was not the strongest. What do I have?
Walter Payton will always be remembered for his heart, as will his successor. Such is the significance of the game's most revered record. To break it is to climb football's Mount Everest. As much as speed, talent, and skill, the all-time rushing record is a measure of survival, endurance, and will.
The hardest thing in the world to do is to have a consistent career and do what you do on a consistent basis for a long period of time. To me, that's what defines a true player.
From the time he was a schoolboy legend in Pensacola, Florida, consistency has been Emmitt Smith's hallmark. He rushed for over 8,800 yards and scored 106 touchdowns at Escambia High School, entering the University of Florida, the most celebrated recruit in school history.
When I first watched Emmitt in Florida, I was at Miami, of course, and he was just a freshman, and you hear about he ran for 200 yards. And I was like, let me watch this young fella. And you watch him, and first it looked like he was walking. It looked like he wasn't even running fast. I was like, man, how is he getting 200 yards? He's getting 200 yards a game I watch. But it looked like he could barely run. I really didn't think he'll be fast enough for the NFL.
Emmitt set 58 school records in just 3 seasons at Florida. But he was passed over by 16 teams in the first round of the NFL draft.
Emmitt was sliding because of a lack of speed. And a lot of NFL teams are going to let him slide right on through because of that speed. Everybody wants the fast back.
But Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson, the former University of Miami coach, knew Emmitt was a risk worth taking.
Jimmy and his staff had recruited Emmitt Smith. They had played against Emmitt Smith. And I remember Joe Brodsky, the running back coach, kept bringing it up during the draft meetings. If he has no speed, why does he have so many long runs?
We'd been looking for days at what Emmitt had done at every level, the junior high level, high school level, and then, of course, what he had done at Florida. And his production just blew you away.
So did his clothing in his first official appearance as a Dallas Cowboy.
That was the ugliest suit I had ever seen. Michael could have got away with it. Emmitt kind of got away with it. But that's the first thing I thought was, oh my, I hope this isn't a portent of things to come.
Do my job, catch the ball, ease a little bit of pressure off Troy, and just do my job.
And get him back to the Super Bowl?
Hopefully get him back to the Super Bowl real soon.
I viewed Emmitt as a guy who was going to help us. He was going to help us offensively because we really did not have much of a running game. Now, I think for anybody, myself, Jimmy Johnson, Jerry Jones, anybody, to say that at that time they envisioned this guy going on to be the all-time rushing leader in NFL history, I think that they'd be kidding themselves.
Once he replaced the polka dots with a blue star, Emmitt became a star, especially in the eyes of his teammates.
The coaches would get on to me all the time about not carrying out fakes. And a big reason was I wanted to get turned around as much as anybody else and watch Emmitt run. He had an uncanny ability to make people miss.
I've been going downfield when he's running, and you'll see a guy coming from the side, and he's focused on everything in front of him, and this guy's got a clean shot on him. I mean, he's going to clean his clock, and at the last second, he stops, and the guy goes blind. And he just walking back to the huddle going, how did you see that guy? I mean, the only reason I saw him because I was trailing you. You know, I would come back and say, God, that was a great move, man. I said, man, man, that was a great move. He said, you saw that? I said, yeah, man. He said, you should have been blocking.
Dallas at its own 25. Aikman, handoff Smith. And left tackle pops out to the 30. A block from right. Gets into the 40. Breaking right to the 45. Holy cow, what a great play. Touchdown, Emmitt Smith, 75 yards. Thank you very much.
Emmitt's the guy who disappears into the line of scrimmage, and the play's over. And I've been guilty of this. I'm on tape, guilty of this. Emmitt disappears off tackle, and everything stops. Except it doesn't quite stop.
Gets it. Oh, he's still going. Oh, he's going to score. Oh, absolutely ridiculous.
As a runner, I can do a lot of things. I can run you over. I can shake you down. I can run around you. I can go through you if I had to.
There are guys that's faster. There are guys that's stronger. But there's no one better than Emmitt. And you know how? You know what? Because like I say, even when I watched him, I was like, so what's so special about him? He makes it look like it's nothing, but it's really everything. No doubt about it. He's born to run.
Coming left, falls down, gets back up to the 1, to the goal line. Touchdown, Emmitt Smith. Aikman handoff, Smith up the middle, breaks a tackle. Emmitt Smith breaking a beheading tackle. Touchdown, Cowboys.
I guess I don't have the prototype physique of a true athlete, I guess, whatever that may be. So bogus, so full of, you know what I'm saying. When you look at a player, you got to look at a player's heart and how hard he plays the game.
In his first 6 years in the NFL, Emmitt Smith rushed for nearly 9,000 yards, led his team to 3 Super Bowls, and set an NFL record with 25 touchdowns in a single season.
Hand off, Emmitt Smith up the middle, running 25, 30. One tackle to break, he does. 25, 20. Straight to the end zone, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Cowboys.
Some observers felt it came too easily. Emmitt's accomplishments, they said, were more a byproduct of his playing on the best team in football than a reflection of his talents.
He's got the 25, he's got the 20, he's got the 10, he's got the touchdown, and he's got the NFL rushing championship for the 2nd year in a row.
Emmitt's remarkable productivity, his trademark since high school, failed to impress his critics.
He could never do enough. He could win NFL MVP awards, he could win 3 Super Bowls, he could win a Super Bowl MVP award, and still people would say, well, Barry Sanders would have done the same thing.
The most exciting running back in the NFL at that time was Barry Sanders. You know, the things that he was able to do as a runner, changing direction, making people miss, was fun to watch. To me, when you talk about Emmitt Smith, he is the most complete running back, maybe to have ever played the game.
Like Barry, Emmitt was capable of the spectacular, but his true strengths invited comparison to another.
I think he's very much like Peyton. I think he's the guy that could do it all. One of the games that jumped out about me with Emmitt, his rookie year, they were playing the Rams at Los Angeles. He had 100 yards of receiving yards. And that told us, this is more than a running back. This is a complete football player.
The 2 things you think of when you think of Walter Payton, not some brilliant hip one way, ankle the other way, and threw for 60 yards. That's Sanders. That's Dorsett. Sweetness was a dive into the line of scrimmage and coming through the other side and going 6 more yards. That was Peyton, and that's Emmitt Smith. The other thing that Peyton was a stone killer as a blocker. I've been doing this in this league 25 years. I haven't seen a back get that kind of rushing load, block like Peyton, except Emmitt Smith.
Ooh, I think the most amazing thing I saw Emmitt do is he made a block on a safety against Chicago years ago. We're playing at Soldier Field. And a guy came out on a blitz, and then picked him up on the blitz and sent him back.
He was better in pass protection than I was. He shocked quite a few people. He had this way of just uncoiling on people and getting right up under their chins and standing them up.
Like Peyton, Emmitt was not only his offense's first option, but also its last line of defense.
He never came off the field like Barry Sanders did. He was the best first and second down back. He was the best blitz pickup guy. He was the best receiver out of the backfield, the best goal line running back. He get hit on every single play at least once.
That was quite a responsibility on Emmitt Smith and a lot of wear and tear. And you really had to not only be talented, but you had to have a lot of just sheer will and perseverance to take on that kind of load.
Emmitt's greatest game was a fitting testament to his toughness and durability, just like Peyton's greatest game. In In 1977, weakened by the flu, Sweetness rushed for 275 yards against the Vikings, breaking the all-time single-game rushing record. 16 years later, in the Cowboys' most important game of the season, Emmitt single-handedly overcame the Giants because he only had one hand to use.
Smith is down. Emmitt Smith is down at the Giants' 30.
After separating his shoulder on the frozen Meadowlands turf in the second quarter, Emmitt refused to leave the game.
You could have pleaded your case for hours, and there was no way you were going to get him off the football field.
And every time I got hit, you could hear that in my chest. That's what it sounded like. I'm sitting on the football field. I'm in the hole saying to myself, no pain, no pain. I'm just talking to myself, no pain. And tears are rolling out my eyes. I'm just trying to convince myself there's no pain. But I'm feeling all the pain.
Determined to give his team home field advantage in the playoffs, Emmitt played on. By game's end, the Cowboys had given him the ball on 42 of their 70 offensive plays.
You'll never forget the day Emmitt Smith ran 32 times for 170 yards and caught 10 balls for 62 and did most of it with one arm.
He stood up and played. I mean, he just played and played and played. Man, I've never seen a performance like that.
That, to me, was the defining moment of Emmitt Smith. The toughness, the competitiveness, the ability to just will himself to give us a chance to win, and we kicked the field goal in that game to give us home field advantage.
4 weeks later, the Cowboys were playing in their second straight Super Bowl.
Super Bowl 28, we were haphazardly playing the first half of the Super Bowl and went into the locker room down 13-6. We came out in the second half, and I'll never forget, it was a vintage Dallas Cowboys Emmitt Smith drive. Actually, it wasn't vintage because we didn't throw it very much. Norv Turner called Emmitt's number 7 times in a row. You look at the play-by-play, it says Smith off the right side, +9. Smith off the left side, +4.
Smith for 9, Smith for 3, Smith for 8, Smith for 7.
And then the 7th play, or the 8th play of the drive, was Emmitt Smith for 15 yards, touchdown. You could see when he scored that touchdown, it was still very much a ball game, but the game was over.
2 in a row. How sweet it is.
I think we all realize now, but at the time, I don't think how much this organization rode that horse. I mean, he was a thoroughbred, and they said you're not supposed to be able to run a running back into the ground like that, but we just kept going to the whip and riding him and riding him and riding him.
In football, success is never individual. In Dallas, Emmitt Smith comprised just 1/3 of perhaps the greatest trio in pro football history.
Well, I think it's pretty remarkable that in 3 consecutive drafts, the Cowboys took a wide receiver better than Drew Pearson, a quarterback better than Roger Staubach, and a running back better than Tony Dorsett. I know at one point in '99, the Cowboys were 83-18 when they had all 3 of them, and 13-15 when any one of them was missing.
The triplets was probably something that I took as much pride in as anything. We were all 3 looking for our own little niche. We were all looking for team success, but we were all trying to find our own identity and to have our own individual success along the way. And we were able to do that. And we not only were able to do it, but we were able to do it together. We all really needed each other.
Me and Michael always wanted to be the last ones out. And when we come out of there, out of the tunnel, we always remind each other, make plays, make plays. You and I, deuce in '88. Psh, psh. Let's do it. That was our attitude.
Oh, it's got butterflies. That's big, man. It is big. Buffett right out there. Oh, yeah. A lot of damn people. Ooh.
it's almost a perfect fit. Because Troy way over here, conservative, quiet, like Emmitt's kind of in the middle, and I was way over there, you know, and I think when we got together, it just mashed well.
Michael was the soul, Troy was the mind, and Emmitt was the body. And we rode that body a long, long way.
By the mid-90s, observers were beginning to wonder just how far that body could ride.
The number, 16,726. What's that mean?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's all I can say about that. Unbelievable. It's so far out there. I mean.
Yeah, but now people are talking about you, you know, closing in on that record.
I got to be a very blessed man in order to get that record there, but.
That is a number that I wrote down in 1990, and that is a number that I knew was going to take longevity in order to get it.
At the top, where where Walter Payton and Dorsett and those guys are. I got to be up there with those guys before I consider to be great.
In his first 12 seasons at football's most punishing position, Emmitt missed only 4 games with injuries. But in '97, the constant pounding began to take its toll. While Barry Sanders rushed for over 2,000 yards, Emmitt finished with barely 1,000 in the worst season of his career.
As a running back, as soon as you start approaching 30, that's when they say, hey, you know, your legs are gone, you can't run anymore. And anytime Emmitt had a difficult game, then people were always quick to say, well, he's finished.
Hey, Emmitt, just keep running, man. That's all you can do. That's all you can do is just keep running.
A lot of people for a long time wrote about the fact that Emmitt was done. He was never going to get Walter Payton's rushing record. He wasn't going to be the best back on his team much longer, and may not have been then.
On a Monday night in Chicago, Emmitt came face-to-face with his football mortality. Late in the fourth quarter, on Walter Payton's former home field, Emmitt dove over the top on a play fake. But he landed awkwardly on his neck, temporarily losing feeling on his left side. After arriving in the locker room, he received encouragement from an unexpected visitor.
I got a visit from Walter Payton. He came down. He came down out of the stands while I was hurt. God bless his soul. He was there, and he came up. I'm in tears like I am now. He kissed me on my forehead. He said everything is gonna be all right. He said, don't worry about nothing. He said, it's in God's hands. He said, if you need anything, I'm gonna be here. I'll be here for you. And I remember giving Marge, my assistant, his telephone number to call. He was there. And he was there just encouraging me through this whole situation. And at the time, I thought it was over. I just thought, it's it. Because I couldn't feel nothing on my left side. Didn't know the degree of the neck injury. And that was that. He was there. And I wish he was here now.
When Payton died of cancer in 1999, all of football honored him. That Monday night in Minnesota, Emmitt Smith planned his own tribute.
I wanted to go out and give the best performance that I possibly could, you know, try to dedicate that particular game to him. And that was my whole mindset going into that ball game.
it's going to be a great night because I know that Walt is watching, and I'm going to dedicate whatever happened this night to that man. I wanted to break his single-game rushing record. I felt like that night was going to be the night that all history come running down. And when it's all said and done and over, I wanted it to be for him.
What a run by Emmitt Smith! What a run by Emmitt Smith! 63 yards!
Carrying a defender into the end zone on his longest touchdown in 6 years, Emmitt broke his hand.
I didn't realize I broke it. I said to one of the guys, I think I done tore a ligament in my hand. And then before you know it, the next play, the kickoff, they fumble, and we get the ball back. So I grabbed my helmet with the broke hand, run out on the field, put it on, and they called my number again, and before you know it, I'm back in the end zone again.
Unbelievable! Unbelievable! Emmitt Smith has done it again. 24 yards, and he's got 87 on the last 2 carries.
He finished the first half with 140 yards, but the second touchdown was his final carry of the night. The broken hand kept one Peyton record intact, but another remained in Emmitt's sights. Prior to Emmitt Smith, only 6 players held the all-time rushing record. From 1932 to 1962, it was passed from the Redskins' Cliff Battles to the Packers' Clark Hinkle, to the Eagles' Steve Van Buren, and the 49ers and Colts' Joe Perry. Jim Brown held the record the longest, from 1963 to 1984, when Walter Payton eclipsed him in Chicago.
McKinnon lines up wing to the right, high formation, quick pitch to Walter, looking for the record, cuts back, he's got it, he's out of it at 25 to the 26-yard line. Walter Payton becomes the National Football League all-time leading rusher, surpassing Jim Brown on his second carry here in the second half, and that's the equivalent to Hank Aaron breaking Babe Ruth's all-time home run record. And listen to the standing ovation.
By the late 90s, Sweetness had identified 2 candidates worthy of carrying the torch.
I recall Walter telling me, he says, 2 people that I believe in the National Football League that has an opportunity to get that record. Barry Sanders and you. So y'all the only 2 people I believe that can get it. And I want to see y'all get it. And I'm like, okay. That fueled me more to go after it.
In 1998, Barry Sanders retired. Emmitt, however, kept on running.
Smith stops, reverses field right. Now cuts north-south. Highlight film touchdown for Emmitt Smith.
If you look at the history of backs over 30 gaining yards, it's the big backs. Franco Harris, John Riggins, John Henry Johnson. Small backs have a shorter lifespan in the NFL. The wall's generally 29. Emmitt exploded through the wall. Emmitt's been a good back into his 30s.
He's a cross between the Energizer Bunny and the little engine that could. All you need to do is give him a little bit of coal, and he keeps chugging up that hill.
At an age when most running backs are winding down, Emmitt kept going and going. As he revved up for one last run with history, Emmitt kept the promise to the legend he was chasing.
When Walter was sick, we had conversations and over the phone, and in one conversation I recall him saying, one thing I want you to do for me is call my son Jared, talk to him, and try to keep him uplifted, and try to make sure that he's on the right track, and don't let him get down.
The first time I met Emmitt was at a golf tournament in Miami.
And I met him and everything. We was just talking about his father, talking about how he was doing at Miami University, how things was going at the time. And he just blurted out and just said, man, you remind me of my father so much.
I mean, it kind of scared me a little bit because the things that he was saying to me is some things that my dad would say to me.
Just sitting there having a conversation and talking to him about just life, just trying to get an understanding of where he's at and how he was doing since the death of his father and so forth, was a good conversation.
I think my dad saw a lot of himself in Emmitt. And I do too. I mean, growing up now and being 21, I see it a lot. I think the spirit of sweetness is like everything that my dad stood for.
That is a beautiful trophy, and that's going to look very well on my mantle.
When we sat down and talked about giving this award, and he came up, it wasn't that he came up because he was about to break the record. It just came up because of the kind of person he was.
When you get an award and you do certain things in life and people recognize you for what you're doing, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, but when you get something from a person or a family that represents truly what the game means, a person that was dedicated to excellence, a person that means a lot to me.
To me, when I saw him, you know, break down like that, it hurt me because it's just like, wow, you know, you look at a guy like that who you look as kind of like being like Superman or, you know, a superhero, and to see that he has feelings like that and they're not afraid to show them, you know, to me, that's what that's a man right there to me.
I'm trying to be strong, trying to hold my emotions and all, but I just can't help it. That's how much he meant to me. And that's how much it's going to mean to me when I break it.
Walter Payton stood 5 feet 10 inches tall, 202 pounds. Emmitt Smith stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, 212 pounds. The similarities do not end there. Entering his 13th season, Emmitt's numbers were almost identical with Payton's. Needing 540 yards to pass Payton, he gained 447 in the Cowboys' first 7 games, leaving him 93 shy of the record.
For me, I always wanted my dad to have the record. It was something that I never thought would be broken, to be honest. You know, after Barry Sanders, like, you know, got close, I was like, maybe, you know, Emmitt might, but I didn't think he had enough years left in him. But if you take a 34 and switch it with that 22, you see a lot of the same little things. Maybe not the high step that my dad used to do, but it does. It actually feels right. It feels like it fits.
I'm happy Barry did what he did. And I like Barry, I love Barry, and I think he's a great player. But if you don't want it bad, I don't want you to have it. It means that to Emmitt. He always wanted to be the best.
What's up, love?
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How you doing this morning?
Go get it, Evan.
Thank you. Yep. You got hurt.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is for you, and this card is for after today.
Okay. Thank you. Y'all be good. All right, love. There you go. We'll see y'all later. Love you too. Be good. Get a lot of love from the fans of Dallas. Here's the paper for me. All right, thank you. Morning, gentlemen. The same old me, baby.
Somewhere, a lion's heart beats in a man. Somewhere, a boy puts on number 22 and dreams of breaking your record. Somewhere, the writer of records is sharpening his pencil. Somewhere, the doubters are silent. Somewhere, Walter Payton is smiling.
came out. I almost cried when I came out. I had to do stuff to keep my mind open.
The marathon runner had entered the Coliseum. This was Emmitt's last leg on his run with history.
You know it, but I'd have to be here for this deal.
Hey, man.
How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful.
Congratulations. Regardless of what happens, you know, I'm one of your biggest fans, and I always have been.
Thank you.
I mean that.
I appreciate you.
You're everything that's good about this game.
Thank you. Thank you.
Unfortunately, you just killed me too many times, buddy.
Well, we'll see what happens today. Who knows?
All right, good
Who
luck.
knows?
Okay.
Take care. Good luck.
Standard set. And the first play is a handoff to Emmitt Smith, and he's going to get a couple.
Not today. No. No. Had nerve to tell me I can't let you today. Number 90 said I can't let you today.
Yeah, you believe that? You a fool.
Handoff, Smith coming at right tackle. A big cheer as he gets to the 30. Gain of 11. He needs 80 more. Smith coming right. A block from Thomas. Cuts to the 50, breaks a tackle. Right to the 45, breaks a tackle. 14 more for Emmitt Smith. The count is 65 yards. High formation behind Hutchinson. Handoff, Smith at left tackle. 50, 45, spinning. He's 38 yards away. And a handoff, Smith coming right. Hit in the backfield. And the number just increased.
Come on, Emmitt. You ain't good today, baby. You ain't good. You know what, Eve? If you was all pro, I would respect you. It's a 4-quarter game. Get your damn head in this thing for 4 quarters.
Get in that offensive line's face and tell their ass that they got to give us everything they got.
Now he's talking trash like he an all-pro, guys. He's talking trash like he a straight all-pro, 90.
No, start getting on.
So I'll tell you what. This next series when we get the ball, we need to drive it down their freaking throat and break their damn back.
Draw to Smith up the middle, 35, 40. Spinning, churning, 9 more, 28 yards away. Smith is in the game on 3rd down. And he'll carry it left guard, and he's got a first down across the 40. Down to the 37-yard line. He's under 20 yards away.
En route to his 75th 100-yard rushing day, Emmitt ran over, around, and through the Seattle Seahawks. Sweetness was in sight, and Emmitt's moment was imminent.
Congratulations before all the hoopla starts. A long way from Pensacola.
We're a long way from 13 yards, too.
I know.
At the rate we go.
Long way from that high school to here.
That's true. It is. It is.
I left flip. 17 ball trickles me on.
He needs 10 yards. High formation, 2 receivers right. 2nd and 7 at the Dallas 30. Handoff, Smith at left guard, 35, 40-yard line. Right on the mark. That should do it. Move over, Sweetness. Make a place for Emmitt. The torch is passed. Long live the king. Emmitt Smith has eclipsed Walter Payton as the NFL's all-time rushing leader, and somewhere Sweetness is smiling. This is indescribable.
Emmitt Smith had just broken the all-time rushing record. What did he do next?
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go, baby!
He did what came naturally. He went back to work.
Let's go! Let's run this bitch down their throat! Let's go!
Out of the eye, handoff, Smith coming right 50, 45, a move to the 40, and down to the Seattle 38-yard line. First and goal from the 1. Crowd wants Emmitt to carry this. Handoff, Smith, diving, touchdown.
Good job, baby.
Emmitt's final carry resulted in the 150th rushing touchdown of his career. For 13 seasons, he has run a never-ending race. Finally, it was time to share his accomplishment with those teammates who began the journey with him so long ago.
I wish I could have lined up, suited up one more day, and that would be that day, and be on the field when he break that record.
Congratulations, man. Thank you, man. I love you, man. Thank you. Everybody.
Everybody has asked me, you know, how long would you have played if you hadn't hurt your neck? And I would have played up until he broke this record. I just like to be there, just to be able to, you know, give him a big hug and kind of soak the whole thing in.
You got it, everybody. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it all week long. I had a feeling. Congratulations. Thank you, man. Glad I could be here. So happy I could be here. I wouldn't have missed this for anything. Thank you so much, man. I enjoyed everything I did for you. You made it fun, buddy. Oh, thank you.
There's nothing I would have loved more outside of winning another Super Bowl, but to be out on the field when Emmitt accomplishes that and breaks the record, because I was there for so many of the handoffs. 11 years of his career, I had the best seat in the house.
It's fabulous, unbelievable.
Come a long way from that purple shirt and yellow polka dots, baby. This is the first time I saw you.
With his name and number stamped into history, Emmitt Smith was called back onto the field for a Texas-sized curtain call. True to his nature, Emmitt kept on running, this time on a well-deserved victory lap, 13 seasons in the making.
For you fans, this is about heart. This is about character. There's only one NFL rushing champion, and there's only one Emmitt Smith.
In 1990, when Jimmy and Jerry drafted me, the night of the draft, I come in with my little polka dotted outfit on, and I come right out that tunnel right there. And I looked up and I saw those guys' name up on that Ring of Honor. And one day I said, I'm gonna have my name up on the Ring of Honor someday. This is
something that I think you deserve as well as myself. And I'm glad and I was very thrilled to have the opportunity to do it right here in Texas Stadium where God can look down on us this day.
I don't think you have to worry about getting up in the Ring of Honor, but we can't make it happen right now. But what we can make happen right now is this right here.